What's up? What's up, everyone? Welcome to Soul Sunday Reloaded with Ruby and Allison. And yeah, excuse my lighting, please, but this time of day, what do you expect? But hey, everyone, thank you for tuning in to Soul Sunday Reloaded as we continue our conversation from this past Sunday, where we were talking about sacred energy exchanges. So I hope everybody had an awesome weekend. You had an awesome Monday, and you're having an even more awesome Tuesday so far. But I'm actually waiting for Allison to come on so we can go ahead and get started. But let me just go ahead and talk to my replay viewers real quick. If you happen to catch this on the replay, make sure you comment your name, where you're watching from, so we can thank you for tuning in. While I'm waiting for Allison to come on, a quick background about what Soul Sunday is and what Soul Sunday Reloaded is. Soul Sunday is, there she is. Soul Sunday is something that Allison and I started back November of last year, where we basically about topics that are important but were rarely ever discussed, and we got to discuss them from our level of experience and understanding. And
Hi.
we've been doing that since November. We actually on Sunday and on Tuesday. Hey sis, how you doing, girl?
I'm good.
Look, I'm gonna need you every time I wear some ponytails, you wear a ponytail. Every time you wear it to the side, I wear it to the side.
We keep telling people this energy is nothing to play with.
Exactly. But thank you everybody for tuning in. So Sunday with Ruby and Allison. So on this past Sunday, Allison and I, we were discussing, like I said, sacred energy exchanges. And hey Patricia, hey Helen, hey Onay, hey Tony. Thank you all for tuning in and for watching. And let me go ahead and take care of this. But for those that don't know me, crap, why I can't go? Can you block him, Allison, or block whoever
I'll,
that is?
I'll try.
Oh, I got it.
Okay.
I got it. But hey, I'm Ruby D, the Goddess Entrepreneur, author of the Goddess Grind book series, which focuses on you becoming the best version of you in order to manifest success personally and professionally. I am a speaker. I am a chakra expert as well as I call myself something different every week, but a chakra healer. I'm gonna stick to that. An
That
educator.
works.
In addition to that, I am a radio personality with Soul Therapy Radio. I do a lot of other stuff, but mainly that's what I'm doing now. I'm the creator of the Art of Effective Communication workshop, which there is a need for that. I'm just gonna say that. Allison, I'm gonna go ahead and let you introduce yourself.
You
Uh-oh.
still there?
Allison, can you hear me?
I can now.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know what happened. Okay, you were
Are you
introducing
okay?
yourself. I'm listening.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's a delay, I'm assuming. Can you hear me
Okay.
okay now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Everything is catching up.
Oh, okay. But I had actually finished introducing myself, so you can go ahead and introduce yourself.
I will do that. Peace and blessings, everybody. I am Miss Allison Denise, also known as the Petite Powerhouse, relationship rebuilder. My goal, my focus, my purpose is to show you how to let go of your ex, get ready for your best, and enjoy your life in between. I'm a speaker, teacher, writer, blogger, vlogger, coach, but more importantly, I'm just a vessel of love that wants to spread that so that people start to understand what love is versus what it isn't, so we can stop misrepresenting it. That's all I got. I'm glad to be here.
Well, we thank you for being here, and y'all excuse the light from the blinds or whatever. That's just how y'all gonna see me this evening. But um, thank you all for tuning in. Before we get started, if you find that anything that I or Allison says resonates with you or you feel it's going to benefit somebody else, it'll be beneficial to somebody else. Let me turn my light on. Um, Definitely feel free to share the video, comment,
Mm-hmm.
ask questions. We love
Yeah.
engagement, likes, hearts,
Yeah.
smiley faces, angry faces, whatever. We like it all. We
All that.
appreciate it all.
Yes.
But to go ahead and jump into this topic from last week, sacred
Ooh.
energy exchanges. Basically, we talking about sex.
Yes, we are.
Last week we really got into the conversation about what a sacred energy exchange is and how for women the sacral chakra is pretty much what's associated with sexuality, emotions, creativity, and whatnot. And that for us, when we choose partners, but we don't take into account what type of energy they carry, what type of past issues they may be carrying, or whatnot. If we just, you know, decide to be intimate with them without knowing this information, is we have no idea what kind of energy it is that they're carrying, and it's
Mm-hmm.
possible that if we were to have a child, then that could be passed on to the child. And in addition to that, we did also discuss how, um, to some degree, for men, the root chakra is associated with sexuality because for men, the main reason for them to be intimate with someone is basically to um, create the bloodline or continue the bloodline, the namesake, legacy and everything. So that's pretty much like a form of survival, making sure
Mm-hmm.
that their bloodline continues to live on.
Mm-hmm.
And oh, we talked about so much this past
We
Sunday,
did.
and that's just like the little bit.
Yeah.
Allison, do you want to kind of get your feedback from what we talked about on Sunday?
Yeah, just so we can get into what we're going to talk about today, I think the short version is that we discussed basically the importance of balance. So, one of the biggest takeaways for me in terms of the reception and the engagement we got was when we started talking about divine versus masculine energy, divine masculine versus divine feminine energy. And so, one of the biggest things that Ruby and I wanted you all to take away from that on Sunday, if you watched it and if you go back to watch the replay, is that both sides need balance. And so if we start to get into a point where we
Mm-hmm.
start to understand what sex means from a woman's perspective, but that we also understand what sex means from a man's perspective, and not just learn it for knowledge, but learn it to respect the other person's perspective, we can get a lot further in
Right.
terms of getting to that effective communication and in terms of enjoying the sexual experiences that we want, because we're basically walking in balance and not pushing someone to see sex the way that we do if they're not ready.
Exactly. And not
Mm-hmm.
only that, then also the mental and emotional, I don't want to call them implications, but consequences per se that can come from that if you're not choosing your partners wisely, if you're not taking
Mm-hmm.
into consideration the type of energy that they may be carrying, all of the partners
Mm-hmm.
that they've had may be carrying, and all of their partners and
Yes.
so on and so
Yeah.
forth. Um, we did kind of get a little, I'm not going to say off topic, but we had one viewer that was very much engaged, and we engaged
Mm-hmm.
with them. We thank you for your
Mm-hmm.
input on this
Yes.
past Sunday, so we're really grateful for that.
Thank you.
um yes, but today, in continuation with that particular conversation, I wanted to kind of talk about with Allison how to, because I know most people, for one, are not familiar with sacred energy exchange the way that we discussed it. Um, we
Mm-hmm.
know that, of course, sex is physical, but it's not just physical. It's mental, it's
Mm-hmm.
emotional, it's spiritual, and it's energetic. And if you've never, first of all, if you don't know what your chakras are and you've never done a sacral chakra cleanse or cleared any of that energy out, then it's pretty much just still there.
Mm-hmm.
One way to know that you may need a cleansing is if for some reason you can't seem to pick better partners. And the reason
Mm-hmm.
you can't seem to pick better partners, That may be a bad choice of wording, but as long as y'all get what I'm saying and I get my point across, that's, my main goal. But pretty much you're two when it comes to intimacy and relationships. Of course, the sacral chakra is associated with our relationships as well as
Mm-hmm.
our feelings and our emotions.
Mm-hmm.
If your judgment is clouded and you're ignoring red flags, you're not paying attention to those things that you don't want, you haven't set boundaries, you're not clear on what it is that you want,
Mm-hmm.
that can be an issue when choosing partners. Not only choosing partners or choosing a life partner, but choosing a sexual partner.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to make sure that if you're having trouble with choosing these partners, then that may be an indication, a very big indication, that you need to do a sacral chakra cleanse.
Mm-hmm.
Allison, you have any feedback on that?
Yeah, it's a matter of what your spiritual map has been rerouted for. It's like you have this spiritual GPS. And the way that I like to say
Mm-hmm.
it is, let's just say that you've had a string of relationships, let's say with emotionally unavailable people. One of the byproducts of someone who is very emotionally unavailable is that they are very sexual. And the reason that they're very sexual is because to them it's a release. It's a chance for them to connect with somebody, but not emotionally. That's the part they want to hold back on, and they're able to separate both male and female. They're able to separate their emotions from sex. To them, sex is just sex. That's it. They may enjoy having it with you on a regular basis or a long-term basis, but they don't want anything more. And so if you happen to have a string of emotionally unavailable men or women that you dated, a lot of that is going to be because you've allowed the fact that you have been sexually gratified and sexually satisfied by that person. Your spiritual GPS is now saying that it wants someone who was great in bed. So you continue to find
Mm-hmm.
yourselves with people who are wonderful lovers, but nothing more. The minute you want more, that's when the drama starts to hit. And it could be an indication that your GPS spiritually is grounded in sex is what I now know is going to satisfy this person um, that I'm responsible for guiding. They seem to just want good sex. They seem to just want good sex. And even though you're saying you want something different, you're not getting it. And so it could be an indication that you do need to do a cleanse.
Mm-hmm.
You do need to get those other people and the hurt that they cause, because emotionally unavailable people will always hurt you. They will always disappoint you. And you have to get that stuff out of your system. Otherwise, your GPS, spiritually speaking, is going to continue to route you towards people who are going to give you the same result, because spiritually it's thinking that that's what you want. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's what it wants to provide.
Thank you for that input, sis. I appreciate it.
No
And Tonica,
problem.
this is Allison. I'm not sure. I thought in the title I put Soul Sunday Reloaded with Ruby and Allison. If I happen to put Tara, because I'll be using predictive text on my phone. My apologies, but we love you too, Tara Boo Boo.
We
But
do, Tara.
right now
We
we on here
do.
with Allison. But thank you everybody for tuning in to Soul Sunday Reloaded with Ruby and Allison. And we are talking about sacred energy exchanges.
Yes.
Um, Another thing that I wanted to point out, we have a comment. I agree. Your partner is a pure reflection of the internal being you actually are. Every hole that's about you will be exploited tenfold because you're not pricing the whole in full. I think I get what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but if you could kind of clarify that a little bit for me. I get what you're saying as far as your partner being a reflection of you and who you are, and pretty much what you put into them, then they, um, whatever you give them, then they multiply that tenfold. I'm guessing that's what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but another thing, if for any reason or if anyone you in your life at any time has ever experienced any type of sexual trauma, um, then that's an indication that a cleansing is needed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, One, because the experience itself was traumatic,
Mm-hmm.
there was already negative energy wrapped up in that particular experience. Going further from that, again, because you don't know if this person did something to you in this way, there's no telling how many other people this has happened to. And now that person is carrying all of that negative energy with them. So that all of that energy coupled with the negative energy from the experience itself, you definitely have to get to a point where you can release that and you can cleanse that out of your system and get to a point where you're able to better heal. Sometimes when we deal with traumatic experiences, it in a sense causes us to possibly not want to utilize that sacral chakra, our feelings, our emotions, our sexuality. And once you get to a point where you're not utilizing these things, then that particular chakra can be blocked. It can be closed. And because it's not being used, it's pretty much like it goes into a sleep state until you say, hey, I need to start utilizing this. But once you get to the point where you start utilizing it, it's not like it's just going to magically open up and be balanced and everything is going to be all hunky dory and everything. No, you have to heal from that. You have to deal with whatever trauma is there. You have to get to the point where you're comfortable with your healing process, your healing journey, accepting yourself for who you are as a result of this happening. Forgiving the person for what they did for yourself, not for them, but for yourself. And you have to, and of course, we know that mentally and emotionally that affects us. But like I said, that is an indication that you do need to do a sacral chakra cleanse in order to start to clear out some of that negative energy. Because you definitely, if you are looking to get pregnant or bear children or whatever the case is, you definitely do not want to pass that trauma on through the womb to your child or to your children. So that's another thing that we have to consider as well. Allison, input on that?
Yes. Another, and I'll be careful to not say trauma because I am someone who has dealt with a sexual assault, and I don't want to be disrespectful to those of us who've gone through that. But another area that you want to look into where a cleanse may be necessary is also if you have decided to become celibate for an extended period of time. And the reason that you want to consider that, and if it doesn't apply to you, then my guess would be to think back to maybe someone older in your family, grandma, great aunt, maybe the husband or the husband passed away, or they never married, or they never had children or anything. There are implications for remaining celibate for too long. And some people may think, well, no, nuns have done it and monks do it. Okay, that's great. But here's what I need you to understand. When we open our legs, we are opening up the base of our feminine energy, sexually speaking. Now, yes, we are more than what's between our legs. We are, a multitude of various different things, but sex is also part of what makes that up. And that is one of the ways that your feminine energy is expressed and received. And so when you decide to become celibate for an extended period of time, what is happening is you are very insidiously moving towards all masculine energy. And one of the things that you'll notice with someone who has been celibate, I'd say 10, 15 years or longer, they're a lot stronger. They have a lot more facial hair. They tend to also, sometimes they tend to speak with a deeper voice. If they have not found other ways to express their feminine energy in other outlets, you'll notice a change in their dress. You'll notice a change in how they keep their home. You'll notice a lot of different changes, and it is symbolic of the fact that they have not expressed their feminine energy. They have gone completely masculine, and it's starting to show up physically. And so if you are someone who has made a decision to be celibate, I'm not going to tell you to go out and get some. I wish you would, but what I am going to say is I want you to make the effort to make sure that you are expressing your feminine energy in other outlets. Keep putting on perfume if that's something you used to do. Keep putting on dresses. Keep wearing heels. Keep saying thank you when the door is open for you. keep doing little things like that so that that feminine energy is still being used in other areas, instead of you closing everything down once you decided you didn't want to have that connection with a male anymore. So that's another reason that you may want to consider doing a
Right.
cleanse. Mm-hmm.
Right. Thank you everybody for tuning in to Soul Sunday Reloaded with Ruby and Allison. We are continuing our conversation from this past Sunday, in which we
Mm-hmm.
were talking about sacred energy exchanges or sex. Um, and we're just continuing the conversation today. If you
Mm-hmm.
feel anything that we says resonates with you, if you have any questions, comment, feel free to share, feel free to comment, give us some likes, give us some heart, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
But let's see, what did I want to talk about next with sacred energy exchanges? We definitely have with choosing partners. I did mention overlooking red flags.
Mm-hmm.
And when we have a tendency to overlook red flags, then we put ourselves in situations that we really don't want to be in. Not just physical situations, like general situations, like he blowing up my phone. I knew I didn't want to give. No, sometimes you open up to people in a way and make them feel like it's okay to talk about sex with you. And opening that door, as long as you don't bring up the topic and you don't set any boundaries, you're pretty much protecting, in a sense, you're protecting yourself from that particular, from them coming through that door. But if you open up that door
Mm-hmm.
and you don't set any boundaries, then that's you allowing that energy to start coming in. um
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Belinda says, curious about options for cleansing you are speaking of. We're actually going to get to that in a little bit, Belinda. So we'll come back to that. But you actually start to open up the door for that energy to come in. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's not that you can't stop it, because you can always stop anything as long as you set boundaries, as long as you, with other people as well as with yourself, what you're willing to deal with and what you're not willing to deal with. But you have to be mindful of what's happening. Um, and it's not just in a person's presence. Phone sex, sexting, basically any type of avenue that can arouse you, in a sense, is a way for energy to, and that negative energy to become a part of you.
Yeah.
Energy, like I'm a Reiki master, and I know that working with Reiki, I can do distance Reiki. Energy is not conscious of time or space. So it doesn't matter where the person is located, how that energy, is being transferred from one to another. Sometimes it's not always just physical, a physical connection
Mm-hmm.
like this. Like I said, it can be over the phone. It could
Mm-hmm.
be through sexting. It could be through sending images. So you also
Mm-hmm.
have to be mindful of that as well. That whenever you open up those doors for that energy to come in, then you have to be conscious of what's going on. So, and also be conscious of, if this is something that the type of energy that you don't want to have with this person, you have to be able to close that door and cleanse that energy off of you. Allison, what do you think about that? I know we always think about the actual physical part of it, but
Mm-hmm.
then we never get into the energetic pieces of it, as far as like the images, the voices over the phone,
Mm-hmm.
and sexting the words and stuff like that. So, what do you think?
It's 100% true. And those of us
Mm-hmm.
who, if you're someone who has ever dealt with a long distance relationship, then you know for a fact that an energetic exchange is possible without being face to face. If any of you have ever been in
Right.
a relationship with someone that you literally haven't had a chance to meet, say the following: they feel like the one, and we talk about everything, and we're so close, and I just feel like they get me. You're experiencing an energy exchange. Now, whether that exchange turns out to be genuine and authentic on both sides, that doesn't matter. At that particular moment, you're believing that it is, and you are transmitting your energy based off the energy that you're getting back. If you're someone who has dealt with a narcissist, if you dealt with narcissistic abuse, Most narcissistically abusive people in the last, I'd say, 5 to 7 years, most of them are finding their targets online because it gives them a bigger playing ground and less work to find people. And so if you have met someone, oh, they're better than everything I prayed for, and we talk about this, and they seem to understand me and they seem to get me, and you find out that they're a narcissist, that energy exchange happened without them ever having to touch you. It came through voice. If you're someone who, uh, there are some people who actually don't enjoy physical sex anymore. They're actually so addicted to images, pornography, or sexting that they literally don't even want the physical sex anymore. They've had an energy exchange that now tells them that that's enough for them for whatever reason. And so we do need to be mindful of that, because if we stay focused, just putting sex to the side for 2 seconds, if we stay focused on the fact that energy can affect us anywhere at any time, if we're not careful and if we're not cognizant of it, then you can have wrong energy come in and out of your life, in and out of your spirit, in and out of your emotions all the time. And you'll never know what's happening. You're just going to call yourself, you're not moody. You're probably dealing with a lot of different energies that you didn't know were coming around you because you weren't aware of the fact that unless it was face to face, it wasn't possible. And it really is.
Mm-hmm. So definitely keep that in
Mm-hmm.
mind when you're sending these pictures through DM. These unwanted pictures, men and women, I've seen on my timeline where
Yes.
men was like, women stop sending pictures of your parts, and
Yes.
men women are like, dude,
Please.
didn't nobody ask you to send your insert eggplant image? Yeah, social media cracks me up.
Oh my God.
Social media cracks me up.
It
But
does.
anyway, girl, it's like already, we've already been talking pretty much for 30 minutes. Time go
What?
by so
And
fast.
I'm trying to shorten
Right.
my answers.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to Soul Sunday Reloaded with Ruby and Allison. We are talking about sacred energy exchanges. If you didn't catch the show this past Sunday, be sure you go back and watch it to get part one of the
Mm-hmm.
first half.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just continuing that conversation today. So now that we've talked quite a bit about sacred energy exchanges, it says men are not telling the truth. They are visual. They want to see everything. Yeah,
We
that
know
I'm
that.
well aware. Men are very
Yes,
visual.
they are.
Yeah. A dude can be mad at you. Y'all know that little meme where it be like your girlfriend mad at you, but you mention some food and she be like,
Uh-huh.
you know,
Yep.
it goes away. Dude could be mad at you, but if you send him a nice picture,
Get
that
it
whole
over.
attitude gonna change.
Whole thing.
Yes. Like, dang, babe, you look nice. Yeah, I know, right? I do, don't I? But yes, Prince, you are absolutely correct.
Yes.
Men are visual creatures.
Very.
Well, not creatures in a bad way, but you know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But um there was a question asked earlier. Belinda asked us as far as like ways to cleanse this energy. And it is not hard at all. Not hard at all. It's not like you got to go in there and do a physical scrub or anything like that. No, none of that. Pretty much because it's just energy, you have to acknowledge that the energy is there,
Mm-hmm.
and pretty much you can do a sacral energy cleanse, which basically you are acknowledging that the energy is there and you're allowing yourself to energetically remove it from your body. I actually have like a little meme that I post occasionally as far as how to do a sacral or a womb cleanse, and I actually post it below, but it actually only takes a few minutes. You can also do like a detox. There are some, and don't I cannot tell you which essential oils, which crystals specifically will help to clear out, negative energy or negative sexual energy. You may want to actually reach out to somebody who is an expert in that particular area. That's not my area of expertise. My area of expertise is the chakras.
Mm-hmm.
But what I do like to do that is associated specifically with the chakra is what I call sacred energy challenging. I mean channeling or clearing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty much, I'm very much a dancer. I love dancing. And what I recommend, I have recommended this to some women. Basically, go in the bathroom, take you a nice bath, take you a nice relaxing shower, turn on some music, get you some candles, and make yourself feel sexy. You don't have
Mm-hmm.
to have a man there. You don't have to, it's all about you
Mm-hmm.
and your time. And take you a nice bath and just visually imagine all of that energy um being cleared away from you. Yeah, fasting will do as well.
Yes.
But um once you finish your shower or you finish your bath, then continue to listen to the music and watch yourself dance. You can watch yourself dance naked, you can watch yourself dance in sexy clothing and some lingerie, fully dressed, whatever is comfortable for you. But you're pretty much just focusing on um getting or claiming back your sexual energy, because you're basically taking energy from yourself. You're reclaiming your energy, your sexual energy, and you're using that to clear out any negative energy that does not belong to you.
Mm.
I do it quite often, and I enjoy it. Um, just fasting will do. Indeed, that sounds like a purge to resist the natural attraction for a man. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. You can
Mm.
actually do all of this before your man come over.
Okay.
It's just spending some time with you.
Mm-hmm.
You spend you some alone time. Don't act like you don't. And just because you spend you some alone time with yourself, it does not mean you are no longer attracted to a woman and you're resisting a natural attraction. Because trust me, if a woman was there, you'd probably still do it and be like, "You like this, don't you?" Why I just be talking sometimes. Like, why did I just say that? My bad, y'all. My bad. My bad. I'm a Scorpio. I mean,
Hey.
my bad. Prince. I'm just saying, if you know you came home from a long day of work and your woman was already ready for you, you be happy about it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, by the way, I really love your hair. Those Afro puff. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I try to switch it up every now and then.
Yeah,
So
she
y'all
was
can be
looking
like, what's she
good.
gonna wear next? But yeah, yeah. Sacral energy challenge channeling or clearing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, that helps to clear out that negative energy, not just negative sexual energy, but it's also a way in general to balance your sacral chakra.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even if you can't dance, it's not about you coming up with a whole dance routine. It's not about you moving fluently to the music or anything like that. It's just basically you focusing on accepting yourself for who you are, feeling sexy in your skin, and being happy with that. Um, so Allison, what do you think about those particular, ways to clear out your sacral chakra and that negative energy?
I agree 100%. If I can add one thing about fasting, I do believe
Mm-hmm.
that fasting can help, but the reason that I am a proponent of the channeling that Ruby mentioned, as well as the actual the cleansing, whether it be a chant, whether it be a particular set of words, what I want people to understand is that there are various ways that spirits can enter you. There are various ways that you can also get rid of spirits. And if we focus more on, I have to deny myself of something in order to clear, you're already adding a negative connotation. So if you allow the cleansing to just be nothing more than a different spiritual process, similar to meditating, similar to praying, similar to whatever it is that you do. I'm a candle girl. I love candles around me. Candles and water just make my day. But if you make it nothing more, if you just make it another part of your spiritual journey, you won't feel like it's more of a mental thing. If I think cleanse, I think
Mm-hmm.
purity, I think getting rid of what I don't need. If I think fast, however, I have a negative connotation that I got to stop doing something to prove something. And that's not what we're saying. What we're saying is we want you to get to the point where you're able to uh, accept, embrace, receive all that there is going on about you so that you can basically get on the path of being your own spiritual thermometer. And so, what I mean by that is you'll be able
Mm-hmm.
to tell after so many times, and Ruby can probably back me up on this with her experience. You'll get to a point where you'll be able to tell certain spirits aren't yours. You'll be able to tell when
Mm-hmm.
you're not thinking like you and you're finding yourself thinking like someone that you may have just had lunch with and you didn't realize their energy jumped on you. Or you may find that you're starting to enjoy doing certain things that someone you were intimate with started doing. And so if you get to the point where you become your own spiritual thermometer, then you have the opportunity to say, okay, something about me is not right. Let me go ahead and go through this process and get rid of it. And, just to add to what Prince was saying about resisting the natural attraction for man, let me just, I'm just going to say it as I say it, as I usually say it. You shouldn't want a woman who doesn't know what she likes. If you're not with a woman who doesn't know what she likes, how's she gonna be comfortable enough to find out what you like? If she can't say I enjoy looking at myself in the mirror, I believe that I'm a sexy woman. If she can't bring that confidence to you, then why are you sleeping with her? I'm just putting that out there. A woman confident in her is the best woman to be intimate with, because if she's confident in what she can do, she's not worried about stretch marks, she's not worried about dimples, she's not worried about any rolls, she's just worried about pleasing you. And at the end of the day, ain't that what you want? Just putting that out there.
Let me stop. William says, "Are you talking about soul ties?" No, not soul ties. Soul ties are quite different. We're basically just talking about sex, sacred energy exchanges.
Mm-hmm.
Um, do you believe thought can do it? Indeed, yes. Prince says, "We can give you that time for yourself, but what are we to do? Wait until you come back into our arms. How often is that going on?" It doesn't take long at all. Look, you see, you can't see
You,
the forest for the trees.
and
Wait,
you
you
don't.
can't see the tree. How that saying go? That's
You
what
said
you're
it
doing
right. The
right
forest for the
now.
trees. You can't see the forest. Look, Prince. Here's the thing. Number one, with all respect, it's not up to you to give us time to do anything. It's all about us deciding if we need that time. No one is saying, I'll just keep it real. We're not talking about doing a bunch of, we're not talking about having some masturbation marathon. And we're not saying that our fingers are going to replace your penis. That's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about that. Any woman who understands the value of a man outside of the bedroom is going to appreciate that man inside the bedroom. So that is not what we're talking about. What we're saying is we want that woman to make sure that she's not bringing any nonsense in her spirit, and that she's also not spreading her legs so that you end up receiving those same negative spirits. This is about self-care, self-maintenance, but it's also a sign of mutual respect for you. So try to look at it that way.
Right, right. This is not any means to neglect you at all. If anything, it's gonna make the experience much better for you.
Mm-hmm.
Much better.
Yep.
You know when a woman is feeling you and when she's not feeling you.
Pretty much. Yeah.
You know. Yeah, she has no problem with getting ready. I do believe women do get their me time in. Of course we do. Of course we do. But like I said, when you know, so you are really saying positive frequency. Pretty much. Pretty much.
Absolutely.
Yeah, pretty much.
Absolutely.
But
Mm-hmm.
we don't want to get too too are in this particular conversation, but men, you know, you also y'all need to take y'all some me time too, whatever that looks like. Me
Mm-hmm.
personally, I really don't know because I'm a man. So men, please chime in. You know, what do you do to, you know, make sure you have, oh, men do the same thing. Oh, so y'all be taking nice hot
Really?
baths and showers with candles and music. Is that what you're saying?
No, he ain't
And then
saying
y'all be
that.
in the mirror dancing too.
No, he talking about the happy ending. He talking about that happy ending. Oh my
But
God.
men, Prince, just be honest for real. I mean, if that's what you do, then cool. I'm not gonna be mad if I come in the room and you know things just kind of swinging here and there because you up in there dancing. I'm not gonna be bad. I'll be like, hey,
Hey,
I'm gonna watch too.
I might help you. Yeah, I
Wait a
might
minute. I think I just Prince Sosa. No, nah, exactly. I know you weren't talking about that part,
yeah, I know that's what.
but
No, he
like I
talking about that
said,
happy
you
ending.
know, whatever.
Oh my God.
William said X videos. Hey, if that's what y'all do,
Hey,
like I said, y'all do the same thing. You just realize that's what you're doing.
yes.
But, you know, clear out all that negative energy,
Mm-hmm.
replace it with some positive energy
That's right.
because we just don't want everybody out here just out here spreading negative energy from one to the next and another
No, we don't
and never cleaning that stuff out.
at all.
Tulsa, you crazy. We are not out here like that, lady. It was just a little jokey joke. It's just
Just
a
a little
jokey
one.
joke. You know, we having fun. We having fun. But thank you everybody for tuning in to Soul
Yes.
Sunday Reloaded with Ruby and Allison. We go live every Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Sundays at 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, and now also every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, if you're enjoying us right now, you might want to catch us every other time because it's always fun and it's always a little
Mm-hmm.
different. But the
Yep.
topics are always very informative and very open. We appreciate the engagement. We appreciate the love. We appreciate the feedback. So, we're actually going to go ahead and go to the part of the show where we do our question for the episode. And pretty much
All right.
with this question, which is here on this card, this card game is called Sip and Share. Um, Let me see. You can go to www.iamsuccessfullyme.com. I actually got this box almost a year ago from an event that I was a speaker at, and it was a young lady, small business owner. She was a black young lady, and she was selling these cards, and I bought it. I supported her business. Sometimes we will keep masturbate just to keep from getting,
What? What am I?
just to keep from getting just for sex. And I completely understand that.
I
No,
respect
he's
that.
saying sometimes they, you know, so they don't have to go out there and just randomly be not randomly be looking for somebody, but I understand.
I respect that. Mm-hmm.
Static, I'm sorry. But the name of the game is Sip and Share. I asked the question twice and I give my answer, and then Allison is going to give her answer. And of course, if you all feel that you want to chime in with your answer, please feel free to do so. We
Mm-hmm.
appreciate it.
Yep.
Word. So let me ask if you are single and how do you regulate your sex energy without a mate? Your sexy energy without a mate. Um, the suggestion that Prince made earlier. Sometimes you just have to do what you have to do. But it's not like every day it's like, oh my God, I have to take care of this. No, it's when I pretty much for me, yes, I am single, but pretty much for me, I get to the point where that's not where my mind is all the time, or I'm at that
Mm-hmm.
point where that's not what consumes my life. That's not where my mind is all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
And I'm just not fully focused on that. And if it gets to the point where I'm like, then I just do what I gotta do pretty much. But okay, I'm gonna read the question twice. Allison, you want to answer? Your answer is pretty much the same as mine.
No comment.
I'm gonna ask the question twice, then I'm gonna answer, and then Allison is gonna answer. How has your belief in God or spirituality affected your life and relationships? I'll ask the question again. How has your belief in God or spirituality affected your life and your relationships? Um, for me, I would tell anybody I'm spiritual, not religious. I do still believe that there's God, He is a higher power, and He lives within me. With that being said, as far as my life and my relationships, I'm pretty much I treat people the way that I would want them to treat me. I'm not saying that I have to go by anybody's rules or ideologies or any, indoctrination or anything like that. But genuinely, I believe that as long as I'm a good person, then it doesn't matter who you are, what your background is, what your religious affiliation is. As long as you treat me right, then of course that's going to be reciprocated. If you do me wrong, I'm not necessarily going to do you wrong. I'm just going to be like, cool, wash my hands of you and be like, I'm going to let you do you over there and I'm going to do me over here. But now I'm to the point where, I live a peaceful life. I don't allow people to get under my skin. I'm able to effectively communicate with people if they have the wrong idea or impression about me. I have absolutely no problem with lovingly correcting them and educating them on who I am.
Yeah.
And either they understand it or they don't. But at the end of the day, I'm not gonna, feel some type of way because their life is based on their personal experiences and their understandings of those experiences, and I'm not here to change that. So that's my answer, Allison.
So I am also spiritual and not religious. And what I'll say, I'm going to speak strictly from how it has affected romantic relationships. I haven't noticed a huge change in any other relationships. My friends are still my friends. My best friend is still my best friend, vice versa. But in terms of romantic relationships, I'll have to say that it has actually put me on the path to meeting better men. Now, I'm not saying anything against men who practice a particular religion, but what I'm noticing is that I have, even in the relationships that didn't necessarily end the way I wanted them to, I have found that I'm able to connect with men who just want me to see them. They're not trying to hide behind a deity. They're not trying to hide behind a book. They're not trying to hide behind any of those things. And they're definitely not trying to use that book to somehow abuse me mentally or spiritually. I just get to know them. I get to talk to them. I get to hear what they think. I get to hear how they respond. I get to connect with their spirit, what they think or what they've been programmed to show me. And so that part I'm really grateful about.
Mm-hmm. And those are our answers. And I'll read the question one more time. Let me take the card out. How has your belief in God or spirituality affected your life and relationships? The reason I wanted to start doing this or having this portion of the show is, like I said, Allison and I have been doing this since November of last year. And it's just a way for you all to get to know us a little better, depending on how much we choose to share. I mean, we're not putting all our business out there like that, but, it's a way to be nosy, but in a nice way.
Right.
Spirituality gives me a sexual connect without the physical. Exactly.
I
It
love it.
does. Now, let's see. Allison, what we gonna talk about Sunday? What you got?
You want to still do relationships or you want to move back to
Ooh,
business? What you got? Oh, uh-oh.
we can do
Uh-oh.
both. Business and
Okay.
relationship. The mix of business and pleasure.
Oh, I like that.
See, girl, that's what we're going to talk about on Sunday.
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to talk about business and
I
pleasure.
love it.
I think about that. Make sure want y'all to, make sure y'all tune in. Make sure we talk about things that are interesting.
Yes.
And from a different perspective. As you can see, me and Allison, we're just me and Allison. Yeah. But yeah, we'll talk about business and pleasure, 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time for our regular Soul Sunday. Um, yeah, and actually, y'all know I'm always doing something. I actually a few days ago made a post about now I feel it's time for me to actually connect with a male so we can start getting a male perspective
I saw
on
that.
things.
Yes.
So, I have Sunday listen, and of course, the same process I took with her, and let me share that with y'all real quick. So when I came up with the idea of Soul Sunday, I was just like, okay, I know I don't want to do this by myself, but I definitely want to do this with somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Got on Facebook. First person I see is Allison. It's like that's who I'm gonna do this with. So it's just like some things are just meant to be.
Yes, they
And
are.
this process was similar to that. I was like, you know what? I want to do this with the male now to kind of get a male perspective because since November, you all have been getting me and Allison's input. We're not going to stop giving our input. We're going to keep giving it. But, on another night, it'll be me and this guy. I've already confirmed with him, and, he's excited to do it. Yay! So we'll probably start that next month.
Okay.
Once I work out all of the specific details with him, I'll let y'all know. But man, I definitely wanted to start bringing a male perspective to these conversations that I have with my sisters and now my brother.
Yes.
Prince, how is that going to happen when you've excluded us from the pleasure principle? Prince, you going too far now.
My
you
God.
going too far. Ain't nobody said nothing about excluding y'all.
Oh my goodness.
You being difficult. Stop it. We love you too. Stop being difficult. Stop it. Yes. Once I get the specifics worked out with him, hopefully that'll be in September. But we don't want to hold y'all too long. We know y'all got to get the Bible study or somebody study or whatever your Tuesday night show is. I don't know. We're going to let y'all get to it. Thank you, William. We really appreciate it. But we're going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. If y'all want to, purchase my book or schedule a chakra consultation or enroll in my effective communication class, you can reach out to me or go to my website, www.thegoddessgrind.com. You can find me on Instagram at Ruby with an I, D Artistry. I also have Soul Therapy Radio with my sister Tara. Our next show is actually August the 26th, and we will be discussing toxic versus absent, the debate. So that will be a very interesting conversation.
Yes.
And you can find me on YouTube and all of the past episodes of Soul Sunday with me and Allison. You can find us on YouTube. Just search Ruby Davidson. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and let Allison do her little thing because she got to run her little list of stuff too.
Peace and blessings, and thank you guys so much for tuning in with myself and Ruby. We always appreciate it. We never get tired of it, and we never take it for granted. You can find me right here on Facebook under Allison Denise. You can also find me under our new pages, Allison Denise, aka the Petite Powerhouse. That's me. You can also find my 501c3 nonprofit, the HDL Group. You can also find me on Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter under Miss MS Allison Denise. Don't forget to check out my website, AllisonDenise.com, for any speaking or coaching needs that you have centering around relationships with you as well as other people around you.
And she's on with the Bad Squad on Fridays.
And I'm on with the Bad Squad on Friday. I was trying to shorten it. I was trying to shorten it.
I know you was, but it's okay. Hey, yeah, she be on with the Bad Squad every Friday. What is it? 9 p.m. Central, 9 to 11 Central Standard Time.
9 to 11 Central, 10
Exactly.
to
See
midnight
there?
Eastern. Fishbowl Radio Network. Check us out, www.fbrn.us in the green stream. You can also download the app.
See? If she would have just said it, we would have been done. But she still said it anyway.
My
But
bad.
thank you everybody for tuning in. For tuning in to Soul Sunday Reloaded with Ruby and Allison. You can catch us next time, this coming Sunday, where we will be discussing business and pleasure. So it was nice talking to y'all, spending time with y'all, but we gotta go because my mama cooking and my mama know how to cook and I'm hungry. So we'll see y'all next time. What he say? Y'all need to post on the boom all that, whatever. But I don't know what that means really. But we finna go. We'll see y'all Sunday. Bye bye.